Yes, I love the happy music. Hello, hello, hello. Wiki, we're flying. Good morning, everybody. It's Colette Baron-Reid. If you don't know who I am, and I just popped up on your screen, who the heck is that? It's me. I'm here to give you this month's Astro Oracle reading, which means I'm going to go through every single sign of the zodiac and give you some hints, both strategically. Okay, so this is going to be a prescriptive reading as well as a predictive reading. So it's going to give you a reflection of the energies. It's very accurate. So many people will tell you that this Astro Oracle reading is pretty wild, especially astrologers will say, how does she know that? And that's how divination works. Oracle cards reflect the fixed system in the skies, and they'll help you navigate what's going on. So that's why we do this. And I have an announcement while we're waiting for people to come in. And I know because we're live, I'm so excited. Today is 2 anniversaries. The anniversary of my very first Oracle card deck, Wisdom of Avalon, the Wisdom of Avalon. And I'm such a dum-dum because I don't have a deck here in my studio. I was like, I'm going to use this deck today. And apparently I cannot. So I can't even show it to you. But it was my very first deck published by Hay House. And it's also that's the 16th anniversary of my book, Remembering the Future. That was my very first 2 products with Hay House. Wow. So I got there. That's a long time I've been hanging out here. So I do want to, mention that, that particular deck is just so meaningful to me. I talked about it in both my book and the deck. I was really obsessed with a book called The Mists of Avalon. I don't know if you've read it, by Marion Zimmer Bradley, but I read it in the 80s. And oh my gosh, because when I was a little kid, I used to paint blue moons on my forehead with pens and with markers and stuff, and I always got in trouble. The crescent moon, and it turned in the book, I read that it was the sign of the priestess of Avalon. And whether or not you believe in this or not, and whether you think that it's an allegory, it doesn't really matter, because there's a sense of connection to the divine feminine throughout the book. And so the fact that I was able to create the Wisdom of Avalon was just the most extraordinary thing for me. And it was based on a deck that I had already created, which I put stickers on playing cards. It was my second opinion deck that I had created because I was a professional reader for many, many years. And I've been doing this. Can you believe I've been doing this for over 34 years, full time? So I have a lot to say about this. Anyway, so yay. And I'm just so happy that, I wanted to celebrate that with you. Now, without further ado, let's talk about Aries. Okay, so the 3 cards that represent Aries. The first card I put down is what's called an anchor card, and it's called Caterpillar or Caterpillar. Opportunity, and it's flanked by 2 cards that will give you more descriptions about what this is. It's Unmarked Trail, which represents revelation, and Mindful, which is about groupthink. So let me tell you the story for Aries for the month of September. So Aries, you have to pay attention to opportunities this month that will reveal themselves in a way that is not according to groupthink. Okay, so you aren't going, if you do what you did, you're going to get what you got. And what's really crucial for the Aries personality is to look for innovative things to do. How can I pivot? How can I take what I know? How can I take the epiphany I just had and apply it and recognize that everybody else may not see the same thing or be the same way? It really is requiring you not to go along to get along. That's the other thing, is like, don't be afraid to be innovative and to step forward. Okay, great opportunities for Aries this month, but also to remember we are moving into Mercury retrograde, and the retrograde always slows us down and makes communication a bit dicey. So just keep that in mind, but recognize that within the things that seem to not work, you might get a revelation that says, oh my gosh, this is how we need to go next. So it's actually really cool to regroup, reinvent yourself, etc., which is what this month is requiring, and which is really cool. Okay. So now we're going to look at Taurus. Taurus is the next sign in the zodiac. Taurus is an earth sign. And we are in Virgo season right now, which is very different from the Leo season, which was all, party and excited and like, wow, this is great. Now we're getting down to work, which I happen to love Virgo season. I love it. We go back to school. We go back to work. We get structure. We look at our health. We take a look at the health of our communities, but mostly we go here. What is sacred to me? What are my non-negotiables for me? These are the kind of questions you have to ask yourself this month, which is what I talked about in the monthly reading. Okay, so now we're looking at Taurus, the right use of power, crown games is the first card, with flanked by the wailing tree, which is reconciliations, and also flanked by the divine feminine, which is the cosmic womb. All right, so this is really interesting. So power games can come up when you get stubborn. When the Taurus personality wants to dig in and get stubborn, or get too, because it's Virgo season, get too perfectionistic or get too burdened by things, you end up losing your power, right? So for the Taurus personality, the reconciliation is to go with the flow. So the cosmic womb says things may be gestating. Like you might see, I have a goal and it needs to be this. But what ends up really happening in the month of September is that, oh, I need to release my tight hold on the form I thought things need to be. This is for Taurus, and allow for the fluidity to come in. And remember, creativity, every one of us is creative because we get inspiration and we receive information, and then we have our will and we have our action, but it can't all be will and action. So the Taurus personality needs to be more receptive this month. So for September, you need to watch being, again, being overpowering even with yourself. Like, don't get too rigid, and don't have too high expectations of other people to do things exactly the way you want them to either. That things will not go as planned, but they're going to go exactly as the universe has planned. That's what you have to think about. Okay, so that's for Taurus. Now let's take a look at Gemini. And we're going to dive in after this at the Oracle Circle membership. I know some of you are in here. Hi guys. I know I can see you, my woo crew, but I'm coming in there. I'm coming in to the membership site at 11:11 this morning. And if those of you are interested in joining us in there, just go to cbrlove.com. Check it out. Okay, here we go. Here's for Gemini. Dragon's Hoard is the first card for Gemini, which is protecting the future. Let's find out how that's going to work for the Gemini personality here. Oh, so yeah, we don't read it. These cards are read upright only. Oh, you got crown gains too. So you got me talks, repairing the body, mind, spirit. Perfect for Virgo season. And then you also have crown games, which is about the right use of power. So here, this is here. With protecting the future is making sure that remembering that what you do, what you think, what you feel, what you believe, and the behaviors that you act in are going to make an impact on the future. So the way you need to be right now is to basically put your oxygen mask on before you run around and say you think you know something, because this is not the time for that. This is a time for you to commit to self-care. For Geminis, there's almost like it's kind of like you're on, you got your finger in a socket and you got fried. So for the month of September, it's all about your self-care, mental self-care as well too, and to be cautious about where you give your power. Like you might say, oh my God, this is what's going on, but that's not really true. So you want to be very careful about, like what you believe also this month. So get a little bit more insular, Geminis, this for the month of September, and you're going to do just fine. There we go. And remember, the choices that you make, you will empower yourself if you put yourself first. Remember that your dreams matter, you matter, and your self-care matters. So are you spreading yourself thin all over the place? Bring it back, bring it home. So what's after Gemini, Mark, is Cancerians, me. Okay. So for Cancers, covenant, what is your sacred contract? Now, again, I'm going to say for Cancers, same again. What's your bottom line? What is your sacred yes? What are you saying yes to, and only say yes to? And if that's not a sacred yes, get rid of it. This is the month where you should be 1000% backing up, watching, not falling asleep to spiritual narcolepsy, and recognizing that the world is not personal. You might be taking things personally. So the Watchers there's covenant, falling angel, and the watchers. So the covenant is checking your sacred yes, knowing what your non-negotiables are. And over here, the transpersonal is all about, oh, I need to be in the observer position. Like you might want to say yes to everything because it looks so good, but you can't. And this is saying, I need to back off here. I can't chase anything. So Cancers, you cannot chase anything in the month of September. Just show up for your sacred yes. And watch for, because this is truly when you say yes to too many things, or you might fall into people pleasing. That's a sign of falling asleep at the wheel. That's the spiritual narcolepsy. So you have to remember that spirit has a plan. Spirit has a plan. It may not be your plan. That's the other thing. So just let go. Only do what you know is 1000% in alignment with what you believe is true for you. And also you will feel it. Your body's going to tell you if this is not your sacred yes. If it's like, oh, I think it might be, then take it off the table, at least just for the month of September. This isn't the time for experimentation for Cancers. Again, remember, if other people fall asleep at the wheel and project on you, it's nothing to do with you either. Not that I'm predicting that's going to happen, because that freaks people out when I say that. Okay, now let's take a look at Leo. Now, by the way, these readings are not just for your sun sign. So they apply to your sun sign. Let's say you have your sun in Leo, but you have Cancer rising. So you would listen to Leo, Cancer, and then say your moon is in Aries. Then you'd go back to Aries. And those three signs are pertinent to you for the month of September. Okay, so now let's look at Leo. Dust Devil, moving out of stagnation. Opportunity. Caterpillar is on the other side. So we have Dust Devil. Oh, this is awesome. Caterpillar and Cosmic Womb. Lots of ideas are going to come to the Leo personality, or if you have Moon in Leo or Leo rising, holy tamale. Oh my gosh. So you got to remember this month is like it's funny because it's very different than you, right? The Leo is very out there and shiny and, like, let's have a party and let's really be generous and all this stuff. And that's true. And that's great. But Virgo season is very structured. So you're coming in and I'm going to have structure around these phenomenal ideas that I get now that I've had my summer, et cetera. And now I'm getting into this and I'm like, wow, all the things that I've put on hold are coming up for me to say, you know what, this looks really good. There is an opportunity here and I'm going to let it gestate. So it doesn't mean that you're going to run out and do it. It means that you're going to if you give birth to something, you have to be pregnant for a while. Allow whatever it is to start percolating inside you and gestating. Right? This is the perfect month for you to plant those seeds, Leos. Are we having fun, Mark?
Yes.
I'm kind of like in a little mini silo here. Let's have some claps. Oh, no, you maybe don't have that. You have the claps? No. We have buttons. I love that horn. All right, now Virgo, for Virgo season, let's do this. Whale Song is the first card, which is about resonating. The second card is an overflow, which is overwhelm and plenty. It could be either or. And yum, 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 yummy. Okay, so for Virgos, and then gathering around, which is about community. So resonating here, look at that. So what is supporting the concept of resonating? And what is resonating is alignment, right? When you either resonate with something or you don't. Like that resonates with me because it feels right or it doesn't feel right. So you're really going to be focusing on what feels right to you, not what intellectually is right. It's does it feel right? And does it feel in alignment to your values? That's a big one for the Virgo personality this month also. Now, overflow is either overwhelm or it means plenty. So because the power of community is here, this is about delegating responsibility so that you aren't overwhelmed. So sometimes Virgos might feel, like maybe that it needs to be super perfect or that you need to be in charge, etc. You don't need to. This is really about allowing other people to help you and trusting that they will. And it's also feeling really resonant in community. You might be ending a relationship in a community and starting something new. You might be going to one thing and going to another, or you might be committing to a community this month in September. Whatever it is, it feels that if you have a sense of resonance, go for it. That's what it's saying this month for September for Virgos. I wonder if we're going to get a lot of Virgos at Oracle School, Mark. And Oracle Palooza. It's definitely the time for resonance and resonating. Okay, now let's go to Libra. I'm curious about this. I have Libra rising. All right, so Libra in the center here. Oh, this is also good. Change is afoot. And it'll come and deep quiet. So there's a horseman. It's flanked by deep quiet. And then also flanked by lost in space, which is needing direction. So what this means is that you will get your direction. So change is afoot for sure. But you need to get with your higher power about it. This is not your will alone here. So for Libras, you don't have all the answers. You have to know that you need to be in beginner mind in the month of September and allow the direction to be gifted to you or to download when you need it. And the only way you can do that is through meditation, being still, and not too much running around. You know what I mean? Like, you don't jump from one thing to the other to find an answer. Allow the answer to come through you, because when we have a conscious contact to our higher power, specifically for Libra this September, and it's going to really impact your relationships. You want to receive the information rather than generate it, because the stuff you generate out of your intellect likely will be based on your subconscious, your programs, your conditioning from the past. And this is saying we want something new, which you haven't had yet, which is the lost in space card, needing direction. And the direction will come. It will absolutely come, as long as it doesn't, if you aren't the one making it up. Don't make any shit up, Libra. It's not for September. Yeah, it's like, this isn't the time to make it up as you go. Okay. Scorpio. Scorpio is next. Okay, so for Scorpios, intentionality. This is the first card, the Eye of the Needle. And it is flanked by a tidy house. Great for the season of Virgo, a tidy house. And my dear, I'm going to shout out to Jenna. Your birthday is, and Anna. I've got so many Virgo friends. Oh my God. And Scorpio friends too.
And a husband with Virgo moon.
Yeah, husband with Virgo moon. Yes, indeed. And all my Scorpio pals, Aisha is one of them. So I think right away, I'm like, ooh, I have to tell them this. Intentionality is everything for Scorpios. Very, very important in Virgo season. Be very intentional. You may have not organized things that you want to present to people well yet. This is your time to organize yourself. Go deep into the task of putting your intention or planting that seed in your field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. Don't build it half-assed, basically, is what this is saying. Make sure your foundation is really strong, and then you can offer whatever it is that you want to the world. It's a really good time for any kind of Scorpio, personality that may Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising, Scorpio, to build something this month. It's very, very good time for you to see your intentions actually get off the ground. But again, to be very clear about it and organized. Yeah, I don't have an organizational bone in my body, but all of a sudden I do. when Virgo happens, I'm like, ooh, ha ha. I don't. I remember Sharon Lair, I had to get my chart rectified. So this amazing astrologer, Sharon Lair, did it for me because I kept saying my Virgo is broken. People thought my birth time said Virgo was my rising sign. And it was like, every time an astrologer would give me a reading, I'm like, that does not sound like me. I don't get it. As soon as they would talk about my rising sign, right? And finally I said, can you check and see if this is right? Because, anyway, it turned out it wasn't right. I was right. And when she did my chart and we actually discovered I was 0 degrees Libra rising and everything changed, it was like my life changed. So if you're unsure or unclear about your chart, you need to get somebody to rectify your chart. Okay. Who are we at now? After Scorpio is Sagittarius. Sagittarius, compassion is your first card. Stranger is the second card, which is about curiosity. This one is compassion, curiosity on one side. And the other one here is connectivity. This is a really nice reading for Sagittarius for the month of September, because it is a time for you to be, first of all, compassionate with yourself, release your judgment of others. The Stranger card is all about what happens when people are othered. So it requires us to be curious and loving and compassionate to people that may not be the same as us. Really important that the Sagittarius personality, and Mark, that is your rising sign, gets that not everybody is exactly the same. In connections, there's unity and diversity. This is also very, very important, that we are connected to everyone and everything. And even though we are not the same, we are all essential to the divine matrix, each one of us equal to the other. And this is an opportunity to discover what we don't know about people that might be different than us. And that's very important for Sagittarians this month. Hear other people's points of view that may not be what you think, but just to be really open to what others have to say that might be different than you. So that's also very good. I'm going to remind you of that, Mark. He's saying nothing. Did you hear that? No noise. No clapping, nothing. Okay, all righty then. Let's look at Capricorn. Okay, so what's going on for Capricorn in September? All right, what is going on? Like what kind of... Now, if you want to get a lot more information about this, you have to watch yesterday's video, which gives you the big lowdown for the whole month of September on the general way. So I gave you both the predictive and the prescriptive, and then this is just extra for you, right? These 9 cards, or if you're a triple Scorp, for example, you might have you just read that. If you're a double something, you just read two sections. But this will really make a whole lot of sense. Before I started doing these videos, I was doing this to see if it worked for about 6 months. I was like, does this even work? And I'm like, holy crap, this really works. That's why we're doing it, offering it to you, because it really, really reflects truly both the personal, and you'll be able to apply it, and then as well as the general together. So it's going to be different for everybody, which really is the way it should be. Okay. Capricorn, groupthink is the center card, and new beginnings on this side. And that's the Moon Maiden. And over here is the Dust Devil. So Capricorns are also getting out of stagnation. What's interesting about this card, Mindful, is it's not always a negative thing. Like sometimes the group is correct. Like you want to go with that new group. You want to learn from the shift in consciousness that happens to a collective, right? But here, the way for Capricorn is to not get caught there. So, and to be open. The way out of stagnation is also to be open and to allow new beginnings to happen as you are exposed to new ideas. So that for Capricorn, it's to watch your rigid thinking in September. Really let go of that and see what else you could learn. And again, we are all moving through this really big, giant collective evolution that can seem quite jarring for many of us. But if we know how to work with it, like we know that we're on a magical whitewater raft in the whitewaters, well, you know what I mean, like in the rapids, and we know we're not going to capsize. That's the thing. It's like going in trusting that you won't capsize and realizing, woo wee, look at all this new stuff I could learn. Now, I'm sounding a little trite here, but the truth is the way that for Capricorn, you got to get out of your stagnation by allowing yourself the new thoughts that could come to you only from circumstances and situations that you have not been exposed to yet. Okay, there's that. Now, let's look at Aquarius. Let's look at Aquarius. Here we go. Aquarius. All right. So transmuting pain is the first one. That's Fool's Embrace. And resonating is on the other side. That's Whale Song again. And then the third card, let's see what's flanking this, is the Authentic Self. So grief is really an important... we don't talk enough about it. And I think it's because in Western society, we're so compartmentalized. Many people have been repressed, or you haven't been able to express yourself fully. And that's been traumatic. There's been this whole really beautiful information about collective trauma that everybody, I'm learning about it right now because I deal with groups of people, et cetera. And it's really important to be compassionate about this. So for Aquarius, if you have found yourself in pain, suffering over your suffering, this is an opportunity for you to release that and come back into your authenticity, your authentic self. So you may have told stories to yourself and therefore others about, things, narratives that no longer serve you. That's really, really important. They don't even resonate with the person that you're becoming right now, but you may still need to grieve those old selves. Like, let's just say, you've resented somebody for a long time and now that it doesn't bother you anymore, but you somehow still define yourself by that. And you realize, wait a sec, that's not helping me anymore either. So, but who would you be without that story? Because that story really kind of served you for a while. And it's okay to grieve it. I think it's really important. It's like, we can't just say, oh, you were a bad part of me. No. That whatever reason that was there to somehow protect you. That's it. Like, a lot of times we don't even realize that the narratives, even though they might hurt us, we say them, we tell them, we re-invoke the earlier wounds because something inside us says that that's the way that we're going to get protected, or that's the way that we want to be seen, even though it's not an intellectual thing, it's an unconscious thing. So Aquarius is coming to the table now to find out who your authentic self is. And it's okay to grieve who you were, because you're now going to resonate with a more authentic path for yourself that really is true. And it's an important time for Aquarius, especially this month. Interesting. I'm going to get on the phone with one of my Aquarius girlfriends and say, does that make sense to you? Okay. And now we have Pisces. So again, Pisces sun, Pisces rising, or Pisces moon. And Pisces, let's see, obstacles in the month of, what does it mean? First breath, the wall. The wall is the first card. First breath is the second card. Oh, this is great. You're moving past your obstacles this month. But if you are slowing down, so the fact that you have the wall card at all represents the nature of obstacles are going to come up for you this month in September. Now, that makes perfect sense because we have to all slow down during a Mercury retrograde time. If we don't, we're very likely to make mistakes. That's just part of the deal in a retrograde. We're not actually going backward, but it's 3 times a year this happens, where we get a chance to regroup, realign ourselves with our truth, there's lots of re's, whatever. Reassess, realign, all that stuff. So here we say, this is a time for you to take a look at what you perceived was your obstacle, because truly there's a revelation around that, like going, wow, this belief, this thought, this conditioning that I thought was me. Oh, that's my obstacle. I can learn that the revelation here is the epiphany for Pisces is that you can actually learn something new. You have first breath, which really is the beginner mind. It's really about looking at what your perceived obstacles or limitations have been in a new light, and being really compassionate and loving with yourself as you evolve through the month of September. One of the things that I always talk about during my events and at Oracle School and my Dream Quest Mastermind and all the things that I do is all about who you want to become. And you can never say that who you are now is bad or wrong, or who you were. No one is broken, ever. There's no such thing. There is evolution, and nothing is ever wasted. You always have to trust that even the most painful experiences, it's like, I always say that the best, most beautiful gardens have a lot of shit on it. All right. So, right. There's some really good fertilizer there. So I think it's really key for everybody too, especially for the month of September and the rest of the year, to really stay focused. Your dreams matter, you matter, and your evolution matters too. Who you want to become is very possible. Your limitations are only perceptions. And that's what I have to say. But I have something more to say because I have my computer open here, and my team is mentioning, don't forget. We're 2 weeks away. Actually, is it 2 weeks today? No, it's 2 weeks tomorrow. 2 weeks away from my big event of the year. I do this once a year. It's called Oracle Palooza Virtual, and it's like nothing you have ever experienced, I promise. It is a 3-day virtual event where it's interactive, though, just so it's not like you're looking at me now here, like on YouTube or Facebook or wherever the heck you are. It's like, oh, Colette's a talking head. No, 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 no. I'm going to be able to see you, call your name out, and talk directly to you, and you're able to talk back to me. But Mark's going to say you can't talk back to me. You can reply. How's that?
You can have a conversation with me.
Yes, that's the right words. You can have a conversation with me. It's happening the September 16th to the 18th, and I want you to be there. It's a phenomenal event for the magical, the mystical, and the woo. And check it out. Go to ColetteBaron-Reid.com/OPV to learn about the event and to get your tickets. You got to get your ticket now. Why? Because we're going to mail you the most amazing gifts. We give you swag. So it's fantastic. But obviously, it's not just about the swag, but the 3 joyful days where I'm going to be teaching sessions where I guide you through exercises and activities to help you create and claim a vision for your life that is greater than your fears. And remember the claiming part of that. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm not just going to tell you about it. I'm going to show you all the steps that you need to experience this in advance of having it out pictured in your life. It's amazing. There are breakout groups. You meet people from all over the world. Last year, we had people from 53 countries attend. So cool. We do oracle card readings. I do a whole mediumship thing on the Friday night. It's a bonus called Spirit Jam. If you're not in my membership site, it's like so cool. 90 minutes of me doing readings from people all over the world. Right, Mark? It's fabulous. I do laser coaching on the Saturday night as a bonus. It's intuitive coaching as well. There's so much more. Please go to either oraclepalooza.com. This is how you spell it. Hello. Whee! This is a box that you would get. Isn't it gorgeous? You just want to get the box. Never mind the stuff in it. Like I am obsessed with the box. So this is from the premium ticket. You would get that.
We should say to Colette that Oracle Palooza spelled OraclePalooza.
Okay.
Is all one word.com.
Yes, Oracle Palooza, or just go to ColetteBaron-Reid.com/OPV to get your ticket now. And yeah, we hope to see you there. It really is amazing. And just even if you just want to learn about it, go to the website and check it out. It's I'm so excited. It's my most favorite thing to do every year. Okay, we're done. Bye.
Done?
Yeah, if you're here and you're in my membership site, I'll see you at 11:11. See ya. I'll be in my private Facebook group with